Hello, everyone. My name is Kyra Sedley, and today my group and I are going to be talking to you guys about corn yield projection.
Hi, my name's Eileen Para, and today I'm going to be talking about extra facts on corn. There are several different types of corn, and not all of them are the kind of corn we eat. These vary from dent corn, sweet corn, popcorn, and flint corn. Corn is grown in every state of the United States. Corn can be produced in various colors, in which these consist of blackish, bluish gray, purple, green, red, and white, but the most common produced is yellow. There is one silk for every kernel that grows in an ear of corn. 1 acre of corn is about the size of a football field, and a bushel of corn is 56 pounds, which is about the weight of a large bag of dog food. A single corn bushel can sweeten about 400 cans of soda pop. More extra facts on corn is corn has four main building blocks, which consist of starch, oil, protein, and fiber, which makes corn very versatile and indispensable. Dent corn is primarily used for livestock feed, ethanol production, and manufacturing goods. An ear of corn always has an even number of rows. On average, an ear of corn has about 800 kernels. And an ear or cob of corn is actually part of the flour, and an individual kernel is a seed. Sweet corn can be fresh, frozen, or canned. Thank you.
Hey, hello, my name is Sydney Knight, and I'm going to be explaining why calculating yield is important. So in class, we went to the cornfield and we calculated yield on a certain amount of acreage. And I'm just going to be discussing why we did that. And the main reason is allows for crop management decisions. So some little things in that is you're able to get a close estimate of how much crop you're going to end up with and how much space and material you need to harvest, store, or move that crop. So you can decide on what types and how many machines you're going to need to harvest those crops, or where you're going to put them, where you're going to sell them to. It allows a farmer time to figure all that out while getting a good estimate on how much they're putting in and how much they're going to get out. It also helps maintain food security. So if you're having a good year, you're going to have a good outcome of corn, and then that helps food security. But if you're not, you're having bad time with your soil, your water, the weather's been bad, you're going to have a smaller yield, which, you can prep for that and then gain food security in that way. And then also, like I kind of just touched on, it will help farmers diagnose a problem with the water and the soil, the weather, stuff like that. Allows them to figure out what they need to add to their soil if one part of their acreage isn't doing too well. And then they can make a better diagnosis on that. And then finally, my fun fact. There are 6 major types of corn grown in the US, starting with dent corn, flint corn, flour corn, pod corn, popcorn, and sweet corn. Sweet corn, that bottom right picture looks very familiar. That's because we eat it all the time. Sweet yellow corn. And then that top right picture, a ton of colors. There's just the varieties of corn, but those are the main 6 types that are grown in the US. So yeah, thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Farella, and I'm going to be talking about how yield projection is done. Let's first start off with what is yield projection? It is a method that is helpful to farmers when making crop management decisions, like when it's time to harvest a field or making grain marketing decisions. How is it done? The steps to determine the yield projection is a calculating procedure. All steps required to determine procedures to estimate corn yield include counting the kernels per ear. Simpler methods can include making assumptions about ears per acre and kernel per bushel. There are numerous methods that can range from simple and least accurate to more complicated but accurate methods. If you look at the equation to the right of the screen, that is one of the equations that is used to make yield projections most commonly. And a fun fact I learned about corn is grown on every continent except Antarctica. On the next slide, I just wanted to show a corn yield projection in the United States of America from 2002 to 2023 and just show just how it's done. It was sourced from the FOA STAT website, and all information sourced is down below.
Hello everyone, my name is Kyrus Headley, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about corn yield calculations. So for starters, I'm going to talk about the graph on the left-hand side. Now this graph doesn't have anything necessarily to do with the calculations. It's more of just kind of like a fun fact about the corn yield average in the United States. So I obtained this graph from the United States Department of Agriculture's website. It was last updated August 11th of 2023, so it's very up to date. As you can see, in 2022, we had an average of 175.1 bushels per acre. This is actually pretty dang good. I believe the highest year that we had was in either 2016 or 2017 with a 176.6 bushels per acre. So to get into the calculations for corn yield, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to be using the calculations that we had when we went out to the farm a couple weeks ago and actually went out to the cornfield and did those calculations in our groups. So for starters, the calculus for calculating corn yield, you're going to take your average number of rows and multiply that by the average number of kernels per row. And then you're going to take that and multiply that by the number of harvestable ears in 1/1000th of an acre, and then divide it by 90. Now, what 90 is just the average kernel size. If you want to be more specific, when the kernels are larger, you should use a slightly smaller number, and when the kernel sizes are smaller, you should use a slightly bigger number. But for just the sake of simplicity, I'm going to be using 90. So for what we calculated, we counted 17 rows, and 17 rows just being the 17 across like the bottom of the corn that we had. And then we multiplied that by the 35 kernels per row, and that's just the kernels going up the corn, you could say. And then we multiplied that by the 38 harvestable ears that we had, and then you're going to divide that by 90. And what we ended up getting was 251 bushels per acre. Now I know that's rather high. I know a lot of us when we went out to the field were having different calculations on whatnot, but with the calculations that I used, that is what I got. So thank you.
How's it going? I'm Devin Herrera, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit about the lab that we did and go over some pictures. So, this is Dr. Z who brought us out to the cornfields. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to go pick peaches like he said we were going to do, but it was still pretty cool to get outside the classroom and have an experience like this. I think everyone outside was pretty grateful for it, besides the fact that it was very humid in the cornfields. So that was, but that's whatever. So this is the beginning of the lab as we were measuring, or trying to measure predict the yields. So we went ahead and got some measuring tape, went in there, and yes, it was pretty humid in there. A lot of bugs, got real itchy, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Here's a little bit of an example. Here's Eileen in the corn as we were going through the rows and estimating the corn yields, as you can see on bro's paper right here. So I thought that was a awesome part. And then this is our little group get together. So we ended up getting the kernels or the ears of the corns, and we counted them to get the estimated kernels per ear and then per row, therefore. So we this is our group. We were all hot. You can see them barely standing together right there. We were waving the papers and stuff. So that was pretty awesome. And yeah, so this is pretty much one of the last things that we did, and then we got out of there. But before we did that, we were able to get a nice little group picture that I thought was pretty cool. Everybody looks happy, even though I was miserable out there with the heat. But yeah, so pretty good group. Couldn't ask for a better lab day.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Heriberto Corona. also known as Eddie for short. And today I will be discussing with you guys the different uses of corn. Fun fact, the country that produces the most corn in the whole entire world would be the United States. And on average, there are around 4,000 items at a grocery store that contain corn as an ingredient. Here are just a few examples of um, cornmeal. Cornmeal is really common. It is used to make stuff such as cornbread, corn muffins, and corn pancakes. Starch, starch, another common day-to-day item used in things such as noodles, pasta, stuff like that. Sugar. Sugar is another very common item used in everyday things such as plain old sugar, candy, soda, uh, stuff like that. Corn is also used surprisingly in drywall, which you will find at any construction site, any home built. Is probably one of the most common uses of corn. Car parts is also something that surprised me. Corn can be used for things such as spark plugs and the batteries. It is also Corn is also used as automotive gas, most commonly known as ethanol. Uh, it is also used in a variety of cultures for food. For example, in the Hispanic culture, it is used for things such as corn in a cup, also known as esquites, pozole. Um, it is also used in alcoholic beverages such as whiskey. Another common use for corn would be livestock feed. When the corn dries up and the farmers no longer have use for it, they will use that as livestock feed for like cows. As I stated before, it is also used for batteries, not just car batteries, but like everyday batteries for like your remote, stuff like that. It is Corn is also found in plastics. See that every day, such as this water bottle, these earphones. Corn is also used in school supplies such as crayons and glue. And those were just a few examples of what corn is used for. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you to everyone who tuned into our presentation about corn yield projection. We all had a lot of fun making this video, as well as being able to go out into the field in prior weeks to actually do the cornfield calculations. It was overall a really fun presentation, and we all enjoyed it. Thank you.